Today we're going to talk about the Frisian goddess Baduhenna. I'm going to discuss in this video what is known about her, where she gets her power from, who she is, and also my experiences with her. Let's go! So, I want to start this video with a disclaimer. It's one of those goddesses that we know very little about. But in this video I will tell you what we do know about her. And I've been trying to get some contact and some feeling with her for the past couple of months, and I'll also tell you those experiences. Now, because you know so little, first you want to always start off with the name Baduhenna. Now, there was a language that was pre-Germanic where the name Badu or Badum stood for battle. So that's why we know it's a battle goddess. And she derives most of her fame and most of her discoveries from one tale, which is the Battle of Baduhenna. The year was 26 years before the birth of Christ. The world had not seen Jesus Christ and had not seen Muhammad, so we were basically all over the world, different shapes and forms, different tribes, but all in one form or another a nature religion, a polytheistic religion. Some parts were monotheistic, but the world was basically pagan. In that time, the Roman Empire was big. It stretched from Rome all the way up to the lower part of Holland. It stretched to the river Rhine. And even though the Frisians lived above that, they still had to pay taxes to the Romans. And at first they didn't mind. Or I don't know if they didn't mind, but at first they complied. But you know how it is with taxes. You know, first they want a little finger and then they take your whole hand. So the taxes by the Romans kept increasing and increasing. The Frisians couldn't pay, and some Frisians reportedly had to sell their wives or their children into slavery just to keep making the payments to the Romans. So of course, the Frisians had had enough. They told the Romans they couldn't pay, but the Romans, they didn't care. So that was the part of the great Frisian uprising against the Roman Empire. They made a fortress and they went on the attack. Soon there came a counterattack by the Romans. And the Frisians, they fell back, they retreated back into Baduhenna forest. The Romans followed them straight into the forest. And what happened there? Well, you kind of know what happened there, because large Roman armies in thick German or Dutch forests, that stuff don't end well. That day there was a massive battle and over 900 Roman soldiers were killed. It gave the Frisians quite the reputation. You can imagine how that goes, of course. In modern times, when one of your friends gets into a fight and he knocks somebody out, you'll hear about it in the bar for the next coming 5 years. Can you imagine if your tribe defeated the great Roman army and cost them over 900 casualties? That story would have gone through the tribes of Germany and Holland for centuries. In fact, it's 2022 and we're still talking about it today. Now, one of the reasons we also know Baduhenna is because she was mentioned in one, possibly the greatest historians ever. I'm going to mispronounce this. Tychicus, you know who it is, the Roman guy. who also reported that the Romans had massive losses in Baduhenna Forest, uh, and that the Frisians derived their battle power from this goddess. Now, when this historian that I keep mispronouncing, his documents were rediscovered in the 16th century, people started looking for Baduhenna Forest. Where's this mystical forest where this ancient goddess dwells? And they started to look near Bateson, which is a Frisian village which actually derives its name from Baduhenna. So they searched and they searched, but they couldn't find shit. And after a while, they just quit until the 80s. In the 80s, they did another attempt because they started digging and they found a Roman fortress. They found a Roman fortress that was no longer intact. That's where they were fighting there. They could see it. So they just dated it. And with carbon dating, they actually found out that it was like 26 before Christ. That was the date. Exact same date that Tacitus said the Battle of Baduhenna took place. So they immediately started digging and they found all sorts of other uh, relics around the place. So they confirmed that it was, in fact, Baduhenna. Now, um, that's the story of Baduhenna, but for the past couple of months, I've been trying to get a feel of this goddess. And first off, I said this before and I'll say it again. I don't like it when people say they work with the gods. I work with Freya. I work with Odin. Um, the gods are not your dogs. It's not like, hey, Freya, here, and then they come here. It's not like that. I just said that, now I want to wash my mouth out with fucking soap. Because for me, it's disgusting. But, because it shows that you don't know your place. But regardless of how I feel, we're all just mortals and they are gods. I believe that if you treat them as such and you don't know your place, I don't think the gods like that. I think bad things will happen in your life. If you don't know your place, the gods will show you their place. And I think each and every god does it in a different way. But please be respectful when working with the gods. I saw a great video by a YouTuber called Tina K. Basically had a whole video that Odin is not, he's not some Disney princess with two crows, which you can just petition like he's Santa Claus or something. Mythology, Norse mythology, a pagan path, it's a light path, but it's also a dark path. It's both, it's everything. And that's what makes it beautiful and unique. It's often the religions in the past who claim to be, oh, we're all light, we're all forgiveness. Those tend to be the darkest ones. Paganism just comes out and says, we have goddesses of love and goddesses of war. So there's light and dark. So just be careful with that. Now, after having a bit of a rant about that, how is working with the gods different than what I do? Well, if I want to contact the god, I just start by saying their name with like good intention, slowly saying the name. And I read somewhere that Aleister Crowley once said that if you can name a god or a demon or a force, what happens is you can kind of feel that energy. That doesn't mean that's there, it's mean you can contact, you can kind of get a feel. He called that you can attune yourself to their light, which I think is beautiful. And, it suits it really well. So what I just try to do is I try to get a feel. I don't summon gods because I can't summon gods. I can't summon shit. I don't work with the gods. If I'm lucky, the gods will work with me. But it's not up to me because I'm just small and they're big. You know? Some people say, oh yeah, but I'm growing. Yeah, maybe you are. Maybe it's just your ego who's growing. I don't know. But enough on that sidetrack. I started to like Baduhenna and just saying it and just carrying a bit of that energy in my heart and just walking with it, you know? And I did a video on the Dutch goddess Nehallenia. For those who don't know, I'll probably link it in the description of this video for those who haven't seen it. And Nehallenia was just this gorgeous word which just automatically, after saying it, just carries me effortlessly over the ocean on a glorious journey where just love and bounty awaits me. It's just beautiful, and it just everything just opens up, and it's just wow, just Nehallenia. I love Nehallenia. I love that word. But now we have Baduhenna. And the first thing I felt with Baduhenna was this. Just like a forceful reaction, very swift, very powerful. But then I felt nothing. I felt emptiness. I felt a tear. And I didn't understand. You could say like, well, she's no longer venerated, that's why she's crying, or you know that. But like you could say the same about like maybe even Nehallenia to a lesser degree. But when I started researching this video, I think I might have found the reason, because in the village of Velzen, where in the olden pagan days was the village of the forest of Baduhenna, where she dwelled and where the Frisians got their power to defeat this massive army of the Romans. There is no longer a forest. How do you venerate a goddess whose home has been destroyed? If anybody's waiting on me to give you an answer, I have no idea. I'm hoping that you have an answer. You know? It kind of feels like she's there, but she's also not there. So I don't know. Maybe the videos like these can help a bit in bringing the word Baduhenna and the goddess Baduhenna, you know, back in consciousness. Maybe the Frisian protesting farmers could carry a symbol of her when they do the farmers' protest or something. I don't know. How do you venerate a god whose place of power has been destroyed over the years? Do you like plant a new forest? Do you wait 200 years until it's a big forest and then start or do you? I don't know. Like I said, we don't work with gods. If you're lucky, they'll work with you. But it is possible to attune yourself to the light of Baduhenna. I do very little fighting in my life, but if I ever go on a big battle, I promise you this, I will make an offering. And I will hope that she will grant me that swift victory that the Frisians had, you know? That first thing that I felt. Let it be swift. Let it be powerful. Let it be just like Baduhenna. That's all for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye now. Finish the video. I'm entitled to a drink now.